You wake up exhausted, even though you slept all night. You need coffee, multiple cups, just to feel human. By 2 p.m., you hit a wall. Your brain goes foggy, you're irritable, you just want to crawl back into bed. Then around 9 p.m., just when you should be winding down, you get a second wind. Your mind starts racing. You can't fall asleep, even though you're bone sucking tired. This is your cortisol talking. Or more accurately, this is your cortisol screaming that it's completely out of rhythm. I'm Lynn, and today we're diving deep into cortisol, the hormone everyone loves to hate, but desperately needs to understand. Because here's the truth: cortisol isn't your enemy, but when it's dysregulated, it will absolutely steal your energy, your sleep, your clarity, and your sense of calm. Let's talk about what cortisol actually does, why the caretaker pattern depletes it, and one simple morning practice that can start bringing it back into rhythm. First, let's clear up the biggest myth about cortisol. Cortisol is not the bad hormone. It is actually essential for life. You literally cannot survive without it. Here's what cortisol does when it's working properly. Number one, it wakes you up in the morning. Cortisol should spike about 30 to 45 minutes after you wake up. This is called the Cortisol Awakening Response, or CAR. This spike gives you energy, motivation, and mental clarity to start your day. It's your body's natural alarm clock and energy booster combined. Number two, it regulates your blood sugar. Throughout the day, cortisol helps keep your blood sugar stable. When blood sugar drops too low, cortisol triggers the release of glucose from your liver. This is why you can go several hours between meals without collapsing. Number three, it controls inflammation. Cortisol is one of your body's most powerful anti-inflammatory agents. It keeps your immune system in check, prevents excessive inflammation, and helps you heal from injuries and illness. Number four, it manages your stress response. When you encounter a stressor, whether it's a near-miss car accident or a difficult conversation, cortisol mobilizes energy and resources to help you deal with it. It increases heart rate, sharpens focus, and temporarily suppresses non-essential functions like digestion. And number five, it follows a natural rhythm. In a healthy pattern, cortisol should be highest in the morning, gradually decline through the day, and be lowest at bedtime. This rhythm supports your sleep-wake cycle, your energy levels, and dozens of other hormonal processes. So cortisol isn't the problem. The problem is when this rhythm gets disrupted and stays disrupted for months or years. Now, if you're someone who's spent your life caring for others, whether that's children, aging parents, grandchildren, a demanding job, a partner, or all of the above, your cortisol pattern has likely been disrupted for a very long time. Here's what happens. Normal, healthy stress is designed to be acute and temporary. You encounter a stressor, cortisol rises, you deal with it, cortisol comes back down, crisis over, system resets. But caregiving creates a different kind of stress. It's chronic, it's ongoing, it's relentless. Your body doesn't differentiate between being chased by a predator and managing everyone's needs while ignoring your own for 20 years. To your nervous system, both are threats to your survival. So, what happens to your cortisol when the stress never ends? There are 3 phases. The first phase is called hyperactivation. At first, your adrenal glands pump out more cortisol to meet the demand. You might feel wired, anxious, unable to relax. You have trouble falling asleep even though you're tired. Your mind races. You might even feel productive during this phase, like you're running on adrenaline. But this isn't sustainable. So you move then from phase 1 to phase 2, which is dysregulation. Over time, your cortisol rhythm starts to flatten. Instead of that healthy morning peak and then evening low, your cortisol might be elevated all day long, or it might spike at the wrong times. You might have low when it should be high, or high when it should be low. This is when you start experiencing waking up exhausted no matter how much you sleep. Energy crashes in the afternoon, that tired but wired feeling at night, brain fog and difficulty concentrating, sugar and salt cravings, your body trying to manage blood sugar and electrolytes, weight gain again, especially around your midsection. If you don't do something about this, you move into phase 3, which is depletion. If the stress continues long enough, your adrenals can't keep up anymore. Your cortisol output drops, sometimes significantly. This is often called adrenal fatigue, though the medical term is HPA axis dysfunction. In this phase, you can barely get out of bed in the morning. You feel like you're moving through water all day. Everything feels overwhelming. You might get dizzy when standing up. You get sick more often because cortisol isn't managing inflammation. And your other hormones fall apart because cortisol is stealing their building blocks. And here's the insidious part about the caretaker pattern. You've been conditioned to ignore your body's signals, to push through, to keep giving even when you're empty. So you override the exhaustion. You drink more coffee. You tell yourself you just need to get through this week, this project, this month, this year. But your body is screaming at you through your cortisol rhythm. We cannot sustain this. Okay, so how do you know what's happening with your cortisol? The gold standard is a salivary cortisol test. There's 4 samples throughout the day that map your rhythm. I often recommend this for my clients. But you can also do a simple self-assessment by paying attention to your cortisol awakening response. So here's what to notice. You can look at this graphic here. So you see the healthy car. You wake up naturally or easily to an alarm. Within 30 to 45 minutes, you feel alert and energized. You don't desperately need coffee to function. You feel motivated and clear-headed in the morning. Your energy is stable through mid-morning. So now let's move over to the dysregulated car, the low morning cortisol. You hit snooze multiple times. Waking up feels like climbing out of quicksand. You absolutely cannot function without coffee. You feel foggy and unmotivated for hours after waking. Morning tasks feel overwhelming. You might feel better as the day goes on. So that's the reverse pattern. Then you move over to the dysregulated car, chronically elevated cortisol. You wake up with anxiety or racing thoughts. You feel wired even though you're tired. Your mind is already spinning with your to-do list. You might wake up between 2 and 4 a.m. and struggle to fall back asleep. And you feel jittery or on edge in the morning. So for the next 3 to 5 mornings, I want you to pay attention. How do you feel when you first wake up? How long does it take you to feel alert? What's your energy and mood like in the first hour of waking? Don't try to change anything yet, just observe. This is your baseline. All right, so what can you actually do to support your cortisol rhythm? There are many things, and we'll cover more in future videos, but I want to give you one simple practice that can begin to re-regulate your morning cortisol response. It's called morning light plus movement plus protein. I know it may sound simple, but it also may sound too much. Be with that. But this combination sends powerful signals to your body that it's safe, supported, and it's time to wake up properly. So let's break this down. The first one is that morning light within 30 minutes of waking. Get outside or near a window with natural light for 5 to 10 minutes. Even on cloudy days, outdoor light is significantly brighter than indoor light. This light exposure hits photoreceptors in your eyes that signal your brain it's morning. Time to be alert. This helps anchor your cortisol rhythm and also supports your circadian clock, which regulates sleep later. Don't wear sunglasses during this time. You need the light to hit your eyes. If you absolutely can't get outside, sit by a window or use a light therapy box, about 10,000 lux. Okay, part 2, gentle movement, 5 to 10 minutes. This doesn't need to be intense exercise. In fact, if your cortisol is already dysregulated, intense morning workouts can make things worse. Instead, try a gentle walk, ideally outside for the light bonus. Simple stretching or yoga, Tai Chi or Qigong, maybe rebounding, that's a mini tramp. Dancing to one song. The goal is to gently activate your body and support the cortisol awakening response without triggering additional stress. Movement tells your body, we're awake, we're safe, we're ready to engage with the day. And then part 3, protein within 30 to 60 minutes. And you want about 20 to 30 grams. This is the piece most women skip, and it's crucial. When you eat protein in the morning, you stabilize your blood sugar and give your body the amino acids it needs to produce neurotransmitters and maintain steady energy. This prevents the mid-morning cortisol spike that happens when blood sugar crashes. So some good options are maybe 2 to 3 eggs with some vegetables, maybe some Greek yogurt with nuts and seeds, a protein smoothie with collagen or protein powder, leftover chicken or fish. Yes, really. Cottage cheese with berries. Here's what this practice does. Light signals daytime to your brain and helps cortisol rise appropriately. Movement activates your body gently and supports the awakening response. Protein stabilizes blood sugar, so cortisol doesn't have to compensate. Together, these 3 things create a foundation for healthy cortisol response. Now, I need to be real with you. If your cortisol has been dysregulated for years, this one practice won't fix everything overnight. Hormone restoration takes time. Your body didn't get here quickly, and it won't heal instantly. But what you might notice within 1 to 2 weeks, slightly easier mornings, less desperate need for coffee, more stable energy for the first half of the day, better sleep quality because morning cortisol rhythm affects evening melatonin. These are small shifts, but small shifts compound. And this practice is laying the foundation for everything else that we'll build in this series. Also, if you have severe adrenal dysfunction, you might need additional support. This practice is a starting point, not a complete protocol. Work with a practitioner who understands HPA axis dysfunction, especially if you're so depleted you can barely function. You have other hormone conditions like thyroid issues or PCOS. You have chronic health conditions that complicate things. But for most women, this is a safe and powerful place to start. So here's your homework. This week, assess your cortisol awakening response. Just observe, don't judge. Implement the morning light plus movement plus protein practice for at least 5 days. Notice what shifts. Energy, mood, sleep, cravings. And if you haven't already, take the Energy Alchemy quiz. The link is in the description to identify your specific exhaustion patterns, because your cortisol dysregulation might look different depending on whether you're a hormonal hurricane, a somatic storer, a constitutional mismatch, or a transitional transformer. The foundational practices are the same, but the nuances matter. Next week, we're diving into your thyroid, the metabolic powerhouse that often shuts down when cortisol is out of balance. You'll learn why your thyroid may have given up, how to read the signs your doctor might be missing, and specific nutritional support to wake it back up. Subscribe so you don't miss it. I'm Lynn, and I help exhausted women reclaim the life force they've poured into everyone else. If this was helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with another woman who's been told her exhaustion is just stress or just getting older. It's not. It's cortisol dysregulation, and it's addressable. Drop a comment below and let me know, what's your morning cortisol pattern? Are you the can't wake up type or the wired and anxious type? I read every comment. I'll see you next week.